This conference will now be recorded.
I'm gonna go try to rejoin on my computer.
We can go ahead and get started. We have a non-action item before we get to that.
Let's call this meeting of planning and zoning for February 13th. Roll call.
Deputy.
You want to give it?
Elaine, Member Vito,
Here.
Member Bolt,
Here.
Member Cooper.
Here.
Chair Price,
Here.
Member Johnson, Member Rouser.
Yep. Here and.
No, Joel Gomez is only absent. Okay. She's not used to this, Jim.
All right. We'll get it.
We'll get her trained up. It should be all
She gets to read the Pledge of Allegiance.
I don't even know why I got all up here with them.
I'd like to set the motion to approve the agenda.
I'll make a motion that we approve the agenda of February 13th.
All those in favor? All those opposed? Everyone's got to read the minutes? Yep. I'll consider a motion for the minutes of November the 14th, 2023.
I'll second. Who seconded? Okay.
Right.
Okay.
All those in favor? All those opposed? Staff report.
Since we did not have a meeting in January, these items were trailed over. We did have one new item, but we did not have all the paperwork for me to get it in this meeting, so it'll be in next month's. I have nothing else to report. Do you have any questions for me? We'll move on.
Okay, we'll move on to non-action items.
So, a non-action item. I don't think he turned on the right. Nope, this is not the right PowerPoint. Like the right PowerPoint, like that's a city commissioner.
We're gonna be discussing the next meeting. We'll put it up for advertisement. So we have 3 potential candidates here at the moment.
You do have 3.
Anybody else?
So
Speed fashion.
you didn't put the right PowerPoint.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Mark Lynch.
The meeting is working. I can join, I just have one join as well.
So it's someone,
Position.
yeah, everybody, like Wendy joined, he joined, so.
It'll be changed. I bet it's been changed.
Do we have somebody else in here? No, that's.
As long as you live in the city.
He's still not on.
Yeah.
Tell him the link is working.
I've been told that most of my life now.
Should be dated 213.
So how do you apply for this job? I might need to supplement my income.
Yeah, that's right.
Is that who's been enforcing our stuff?
Yeah, city stuff.
We'll have to move it. Unless you, Kevin can give him a different phone number.
Literally call, can you be on the phone?
You could do that.
It's a long time.
Have him literally be on the phone.
That's
I
okay.
guess if we can hear him. Okay, so 601 West Avenue I brought up this property. I had somebody call, tell me they were making an Airbnb called the owner. They said, no, it's not an Airbnb. It's, my son is autistic. He's 30-something years old, but he still has to live at home. But I want him to start doing more independent things like his own laundry. So she's putting in extra washer and dryer, little basin. She said the cabinets put in the old dining room were just extra cabinets because her kitchen's very small. So there wasn't any issue with her doing the work she was doing once I talked to her. But then when I looked at the house, I should never went by, right? The house, so it's the white one in the big white roof in the center. So an old carport was converted into living area. Then a new carport was added that does not meet code in the front. Then in the back, another addition was added. That's being lived in. And all this, she says, those additions were done when she purchased the house years and years ago. So when I look back in Google Earth and dated everything, the carport in the front that doesn't meet setbacks, doesn't have a concrete egress and ingress, and both were built between 2019 and 2023. Well, not very long ago was that new carport put up in the front. Then the storage building in the rear, which is this, I don't know, this is actually livable space. This is the storage. This is a carport. This is a storage. This is a carport. So there's 2 carports on the property and 2 storage units. The one storage unit is way too close to the house. And actually looks like they walk through a walkthrough, and I don't know if they're using that as livable space too. But nothing was permitted. I've searched, I couldn't find anything. The main thing was the storage building is not 10 foot away from the home, and it was built sometime between 2014 and 2017. Unknown when the carport was converted into a living space or additional space in the front. That carport has been there since my earliest Google photos, and then it was changed into the structure somehow. So I was just like, I don't even know what to do with this mess. So I thought I would bring this to you guys and see if you guys had any opinions on what I should do.
How much you own the property?
So this is kind of, if you guys want to pass that around a little bit better diagram of all the buildings. Let's see, she has owned the property. And see, she is actually in California, and there's a caretaker that stays with her son there. And that's one thing she did not get me was a copy of the deed. It is on the county as she is the owner, so I didn't bust with that. She was supposed to be back sometime in January for California for a short time before she's a traveling nurse. So before she headed back out, but she never did get a hold of me. And of course, we canceled that meeting anyway, so.
When did she purchase it? Did you find out what year she purchased it?
No, I don't have that. I thought I'd written that down, but I don't see it
Before
now.
2019?
Huh?
Was it before 2019? You know that much?
Before 2019?
Or before the
That's when structures were added and put on there. That's just from Google Earth, you can see.
whatever she owned it before all that?
So before 2014, because she said the storage and the additions were done to the house when she purchased it. So that would have been before 2014. Anytime before then. And it could have been a few years before that. It could have been a lot of years before that.
So she didn't actually have it built.
No, the only thing she probably actually did was the new carport up front. That doesn't meet setbacks.
The storage building in the back, is it movable?
Yeah, it's one of those that's on the big skids.
And if we push back away from the house.
Mhm.
So you're saying that the carport on the front of the house was put on when she did own it?
Yes, I do believe so.
And did she admit that?
No, she very just, I don't have time, I'm in the middle of this, I'm trying to get a hold of her has been a chore.
Right.
And with her out of town all the time, and I can't go over to the home and really deal with the son. He wouldn't be capable, and I don't want to deal with the caretaker because it's not their property.
No, it's not their.
So, that's where I'm just like, I know I could probably work with her over time to, I mean, that carport is far enough away from the curb line that we've granted easements with carports that far away from the curb line. Because that's a good 20, 25 foot from the sidewalk to the curb. And she's not impeding the sidewalk. She's not over the sidewalk. So I know we've granted those kind of,
Main things that the sewage will need to be moved away from that.
yeah, that was my main concern is what do they actually do in there and could there be a fire hazard issue where it would spread to that house?
Yeah.
And with the way the house is jigsawed together, I'm pretty sure it goes up in flames pretty quick. So we don't want that to happen.
Let's see, do that first.
Yeah.
And then we'll go,
Moving the shed the 10 foot away.
yeah,
The carport in the back just had just stuff under it. I mean, and you can have a carport in the rear yard. There wasn't a vehicle under it, so I really wasn't worried about her. Because anytime you have a carport, you're supposed to have the concrete egress and ingress. And that's the one she doesn't have on the front has it, but the back doesn't. But there wasn't a vehicle under there, so.
They're like one of the portable carports?
Yes, it's one of those metal portable carports.
In the front or the back?
Both. Well, both of them are those metal. I mean, by state regulations, they have to be anchored and permitted. Even though they're those metal portable carports.
Are they?
Yeah, they're anchored down. They have the anchors driven down in them. I can see that.
Are they permitted?
No, they're not. That's what I'm saying. None of those. Yeah, they're not.
Could we require that she apply for a permit, we do the inspections on it, at least for the front one, and do give the variance, because you said it's not an uncommon situation, so.
That's what I'm saying. He
She
could-
would be getting, there would be some legitimacy to what she's got going
Because it looked to me like they just kind of use it for a patio area to sit out underneath
in the front or the back.
in the back.
Well, then let her call it a patio.
Yeah.
But she could possibly see about bringing these up to code, but she needed to see about applying for a variance for the front because it is encroachment.
Yep.
So.
Yeah, because it doesn't meet setbacks.
I feel that that's needed.
Okay.
and the back, still moved away from the house.
Okay.
But the thing is, are you gonna be able to get a hold of that person?
Well, that's what I'm hoping. Pretty soon she'll have something where she's got a little bit more time off in between and be able to spend some time with me to go over things. Like I said, she's been good about returning the calls. It does take her a while, but she does call back. So.
Church nurses are,
You're trying to help her out as much as possible, but it is a violation and that you are noted about it. There is a possibility of being fined. So maybe that would be helpful to get this ball in motion.
Okay.
So what was the original, where did we start on this process at? Was it something about an electrical outlet?
Yeah, it was about the electrical outlet that was put in for the new washer dryer
So
combo.
they did put it in?
Yeah, it was state permitted by an electrician, so. But then I got a phone call that they thought they were turning it into an Airbnb. And I'm like, well, that's single family residential zone, that's not allowed.
Right.
So that's when I made contact with them.
So is this the picture of it here? Is that the?
No, that's the next,
That's
that's the next one.
okay.
we're skipping ahead.
And I said, I don't think by any means that we're asking for something that's not possible.
Yeah,
I think we're trying to work with this person as much as possible, which is what we want to do. So, yes.
okay, so variance on the carport in the front on the setbacks, and then variance for the no concrete egress and ingress on the backyard carport if she's using that as a patio, or claim that it's patio only. Okay, and then the storage shed needs to be relocated. Storage shed 10 foot from home.
yes.
Okay.
That's the first thing she needs to get done. Because that's drawing fire.
Yeah, to me, that's one of the more safety issues
Yes.
is that storage shed.
Well, especially with her not being there, her son being there, that, you know,
Is there power in that building?
Huh?
Is there power in that?
It looked like there might be, there was some things in the window, it looked like lights hanging. I can't remember if I seen, yeah, there was a little AC unit in the window in the back. So I know they got power in there somehow. I don't know if they're running extension cords because I didn't see anything coming into it, so.
They buried the extension cords.
They buried the extension cords.
That's the
But I will, that is another thing I would check.
The first thing is that moving it because it's.
Moving it and making sure if they're using power to it, they're getting an electrician to actually look at
Start that first, then we'll go to the. That shed needs to be moved.
it. Okay. I will get on that first one.
Are we gonna go ahead and do the protection of them or? We're gonna skip.
Do we have him on the phone? He is on paper phone.
Okay, I'll make a motion that we variance request for 507 West Avenue G carport size and
Make up for the days.
I have to bring it and then translate for it.
Ok, Armando, ya vamos a hablar sobre su caso, si puede poner atención, por favor.
So we'll go over it and then we'll have questions for him.
Ok, lo que van a hacer es discutir ahorita el asunto y después de que terminen, yo voy a traducir lo que ellos han dicho para que usted pueda comentar cualquier cosa que tenga que decir. Ok, sí, está bien.
Okay, so, you gonna make a motion or did you guys already?
I did.
Okay,
We need a second.
I did.
motion,
Brian, second by Scott.
all right, so 507 West Avenue G owners are requesting a variance. They built the carport and a porch on the back of the home. Carport's in the front, the porch is on the back. No permits were pulled. The carport on the front is over our 720 square foot size limit. And it is also, does not have a front 5-foot setback from the property line. It is actually built on the property line. The roof line falls on the property line. There is no issue with the back patio as far as setbacks, except for the fact that it was not permitted through me or the state, and any entry over doorway, anything over 120 square foot is required to be permitted through the state. And of course, anything you build on is supposed to be permitted in the city. So his variance would be for the size and the setback. And of course, in lieu of getting the variance, I suggest that he have all the state permits actually gotten and finalized and approved by the state before we finalize the variance.
And then we'll inspect it. Will there be an
The
inspection?
state inspector.
The state will inspect it, okay, that's.
Once he gets the past approval from the state, then I know it was done appropriately and correctly. And then we can, then the variance would be valid if we do a conditional variance like that.
I'm gonna go ahead and translate what you said.
Huh?
Want me to go ahead and translate what you said or no?
Well, we'll see what, you'll translate their questions. I mean, I've just discussed his property.
Okay.
So here's a side view of the back patio, and there's a view of the front carport. So both of these were built within the last few years.
So how did we come up with the term or decision for 740 square feet for a carport?
That is just what the ordinance states in the A zone.
Mm-hmm.
Your carport is only allowed to be 720 square feet, and it was just because they didn't want homes with just solid carport out front of them. It was the aesthetics thing and people having way too big of carports in their residential zones.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
How much easement is on that?
And that falls under B zone too for residential. The only place you can go bigger is in a commercial zone.
How much easement do we got on that road?
So it's an 80-foot right of way. And he has 25 foot from the property line or from the curb to his property line. There at the carport, there's actually 25 foot
Is there any
from back end
chance,
curb to the carport.
is there any chance of us widening the road or?
Not to that extent, not 8 feet.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's not an arterial street. If it was, there could be that possibility. Because that's like Jackson. Jackson's an arterial street. Goes from one side of town, ambulance, fire, safety. They all use that for fast transport from one side of town to the other. Those are arterial streets. This is not an arterial street.
So we really don't have to worry about any kind
No,
of.
if we widened it, the only thing we would do would be to widen the road maybe a foot or two and add sidewalks. So we might use 15 foot and we would take it from each side.
Mhm.
So we might use 7 or 8 feet from each side and he's got 25. Each
So
side
we're
does.
not gonna run up there.
I would never see us expanding that. And we always leave in the variance that if the city ever needs that area, he would then have to bring it up to code. That's always in our verbiage.
Are we setting a precedent by allowing that large of a structure? Because then the next person's gonna go, well, they got it on G and they build one 1,500 square feet.
We
And
always have-
then we find out later. So the question is, for me is that a little bit over is one thing,
Mhm.
1/3 the size, that's huge.
It's 330 foot over the last one. He says it is not that big, but that was my measurements from Google Earth View. He stated, what size did he say the carport was?
Perdón, ¿cuál es el tamaño, las dimensiones del carport enfrente? Armando. Sí, o sea, el tamaño más o menos.
Lo que pasó que más o menos es 20 por 30, pero tiene tapes, o sea, cuelga, ¿me entiendes?
Sí.
Le puso unos tapes grandes
Ajá.
para que me cubriera todo el granizo. Pero
Okay.
los postes están a 30, el cuadro principal es 30 por 20.
The
So-
concrete foundation is 20 by 30, it says, but with the overhang of the roof being a little bit over, being exceeding that.
On his plans that were attached to the file, he does have that it's a 25 by 30 porch, which that's the carport. And then he did not draw on here, on his site plan, he did not draw on the back patio that was built also. Let me get down to that. So 25, if it's 25 by 30, because the roof line does go up over the house, so I don't know. I just measured the roof of the car, and that's 30 by 30. So if you deduct that overhang, that's actually not usable as carport because it overhangs the mobile home. Or if you go by his measurements, it's 750 square feet by his drawing, the 25 by 30.
Well, that's a lot more palatable. That's a small act.
Mhm.
Well, I mean,
I mean, it's the one in the backyard.
The patio in the backyard?
It's over the trailer too.
Yeah, well, it doesn't matter the size because there's no code, there's no violation on it except for the no permit. It's the only thing that's wrong with the back patio. is that It wasn't
They
permitted,
can get it for me.
permitted along with this structure heating permit both at the same time and do with one state permit and have them both inspected.
Any questions?
I don't like the fact that it's so high up and it's in a residential neighborhood. I mean,
It's not really that high. It's
No.
the same height as the trailer house. You just look.
Yeah, just the angle here, it is actually
Oh,
almost,
okay.
yeah, the pitch is barely even
Oh,
any
okay.
taller. And he went over the roof line to help his rain gutters actually catch the
Okay,
rain from the
okay.
house and divert it away from his.
Well, there it looks
Carport
like,
area.
okay, but I can see here it's, okay. Never mind. Never mind.
You gotta ask questions.
Yep, you do.
Equal concrete there.
So to get a state permit, he's gonna have to have engineered drawings, right?
Yep, the state will require it. And we went over that with him before, right?
I don't think I handled this.
You didn't handle
No, I
it?
don't think I.
Did you?
No.
I don't remember this.
One of you guys had, do I?
One of us had to, but it must have been him, because it was before me.
I do not remember this whatsoever.
So does he understand that that in order for us to grant a variance, there would be the condition that, and it still has to go to city commission. But one of our conditions would be that he gets that permitted through the state. And in order to permit it through the state, he would have to have some engineered drawings.
Any questions or anything else you need me to translate for? Ok, pues hemos concluido de que para poder seguir con los porches como están pidiendo que pueda agarrar los permisos por el estado, y Cristal está nomás queriendo que sepa que serían obviamente agarrar planos con los ingenieros para poder procesar los permisos.
Sí, pero no, ya he intentado y no, los ingenieros, no encuentro ingenieros, no hay.
Okay.
No hay que lo quieran hacer.
Okay. Pues es ahorita lo único que es la decisión, pero obviamente podemos discutir sobre el proceso para, o sea, encontrar ingenieros ya después, pero ahorita es solamente por el propósito de esta junta, pues es lo que le estoy dejando saber ahorita, entender. ¿Está
Sí,
bien?
pues ya me han dicho que buscar ingeniero, y no quiero buscar ingeniero, la verdad, no voy a buscar ingeniero. Ya no quiero perder mi tiempo, la verdad.
Okay.
Mejor tomen una decisión, tómenla, no me importa. Hagan lo que quieran.
Okay. Pues es,
Porque ahorita estoy a punto de tener un accidente en mi trabajo, no voy a perder mi trabajo por estar haciendo esas cosas.
okay, está bien, entiendo. Solamente como le digo, pues era lo que habían concluido, solo ya después podemos obviamente hablar más sobre el caso, pero era lo que han decidido aquí.
Está muy bien.
Okay.
Gracias. Y mañana yo voy a llevarte a Brian.
Ajá.
Ah, bueno.
Muy bien, gracias.
Estás ocupado.
Ajá.
Bueno, gracias.
Ajá, bye bye. Okay. You understand.
All right, so then it's just time you guys to make a decision.
I'm all for staff recommendations. I make a motion that we follow staff's recommendations. Conditional approval with final approval after the owners get required state building permit for the carport and work structures and passes the state required inspection.
All those in favor? All those opposed? Okay. Special use permit for L Mexican food truck.
Okay, I'll make a motion to visit the act night for special use permit for El Sazon Mexicano food truck.
Okay, so this property owner, as you guys know, this is the property across from Jackson Avenue Baptist Church on 9th and Jackson. This property is not commercial zoned, even though there's always, for as long as I've been a commercial business in that building.
Well, this property used to be a golf course, but golf.
So I couldn't just grant her city business inspection because it's not the right zone for a food truck to be permitted.
So what is it zone right now?
It is zone C, or I mean B, multifamily.
Exactly.
Has always been, like for as long as I know, it's been that. So that's where we could do a special use or conditional use without changing the zone. Because historically, the things that have been there they're basically historic conditional uses as they
It's been a store
Since
since.
I was a little girl.
Yes. I remember when I was a teenager, that was a store. It was a stop and go, right? Something like that.
Yes, with ginormous drinks.
Even when I
And
was
slushies, because I got
in
slushies.
seventh grade in 19.
You really want to go there?
Okay, so she just wants to be able to park her food truck over there, and she has permission, she has contract with the owners of the property to park her food truck there, and just do business, out of her food truck, with ample parking. There's plenty of parking all around, so I don't see it causing a traffic issue or nothing like that. It's way better than somebody putting it beside their house
Yes.
on Main Street, so. Nothing in code that makes me say,
So which one, Marty? The side of the building or?
yeah, so it'll be just basically to the west side of the building there, and that way they would have all that available parking, so.
They have got a lot of parking there now.
Mhm.
And for a food truck, it's all licensed and everything.
Mhm.
All up to date.
¿Tiene licencia ya para la carga? ¿Ya tiene licencia o usted está trabajando en la licencia?
Hace días saqué aquí el permiso
Sí.
y ya estoy esperando la inspección del estado, es lo último que hace falta.
So she's working on her state license, so she's waiting for the inspection.
From the state, yeah.
She's already got her business license here, because I helped Shannon with her.
Yeah, because she had to have that before they messed with the state. And she has looked at a couple other locations, but she really wants to use this one.
It's a big area.
Mhm.
It's a lot of area.
It's a very good area.
It really
And there's
is.
not a lot in that area.
Area.
Yeah, it'd be good for you.
Sunday afternoon lunch.
Sunday afternoon.
Bastante grande, bastante gente pasa por ahí, ¿verdad?
Any more questions?
I'll make the motion.
I second.
Motion second.
Motion Dave Rouser,
And like you,
you know,
all those in favor? All those opposed? Motion carries. Anything else?
no, those both go to city commission for final approval.
Any from you guys? Questions? Comments? I adjourn this meeting.
Okay, so yeah, just let her know, then we'll have it to city commission
Aye.
for final approval, but they approved it.
Happy, thank you.
Crystal?
Yes, she has all that.